Three players you want to consider leaving on your bench this week. First up, Jamal Williams. I know with Alvin Kamara suspended and Kendre Miller nursing a hamstring injury and looking pretty questionable to play this week, that it might be tempting to fire up Williams. But I would think twice. Williams has only averaged 4 yards per carry over his career, and he's going up against the Titans team that allowed the fewest rushing yards per game last year with a little less than 77. Now, I do want to mention the Titans did allow the most passing yards per game, so teams were likely scheming around that. And I would imagine that'll still continue. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Saints attack the Titans through the air. And that's going to mean a big game for Chris Olave, Michael Thomas potentially, and Juwan Johnson. I think in order for Williams to salvage any value, he's either going to need to fall into the end zone or have an immense amount of volume. And I don't see either of those things happening, to be honest. Also, the Titans allowed the second fewest rushing touchdowns last year with 9. And the Saints are projected to have a bottom third offensive line. So this is a recipe for disaster in my opinion. If you can look elsewhere, I definitely would. Next up, Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown is someone I would definitely think twice about this week. He's nursing a hamstring injury, so he's been missing practice to begin with, and he's going up against the Commanders team that had the 7th most sacks last year with 43. The Cardinals are in shambles, in my opinion, and they have very little to play for. This offensive line was the most penalized unit in the NFL last year with 44 penalties. I would even downgrade James Conner at this point. Brown may have very little competition for targets, but the quality of those targets are very questionable. He's going to be catching passes from either Joshua Dobbs or rookie Clayton Tune, neither of which instill much confidence. Not to mention, the Commanders allowed the 4th fewest passing yards per game with a little bit more than 191. So I think between this hamstring injury, the quarterback questions, the offensive line woes, I would leave Brown on your bench if you can at all. Last up, Adam Thielen. I know with DJ Chark being ruled out and there being very little talent behind Thielen in Terrace Marshall and rookie Jonathan Mingo, that it might be tempting to fire up Thielen as well. But Thielen is now 33. He's only gone over 100 receptions one time, and he's really become touchdown dependent in the last few years. He has a rookie quarterback in Bryce Young, who will undoubtedly have his own set of woes, especially in his first game, and he's playing behind an offensive line that, while looked improved last year, has looked pretty shaky this preseason. And while the Falcons were kind of middle of the pack in terms of defense last year, they invested a ton of money into this defensive unit. They spent $137 plus million on defensive free agents. So they should definitely be improved. And I think they're going to feast this week, to be honest. It would not surprise me if we see Young nervous, out of his element, and just a little shaky throughout the game. Also complicating things is the fact that Thielen is nursing an ankle injury of his own. So as an aging player who's seen his yard per catch average drop in 4 straight seasons, I think you could do a lot better. Those are 3 players I would strongly consider leaving on your bench this week. Please subscribe and let me know who you think we should sit in the comments below.